ladies, we
So
are going to talk about reverse diet, but I just want to say this really quick. I am a true believer that it's not so much of a weight loss problem that everybody has. It's a maintenance problem that tends to be the problem. Else we wouldn't be like doing this, right? We would do lose and move on with our life. Instead, we're doing gain, lose, gain, like this whole vicious cycle. And so I truly, for me, I don't have a problem losing weight. I know how to lose weight. I just eat less, move my body more, all the things, right? But it's like the maintenance is where I always screw up every time. Like I feel like now, oh, it's over. I can do whatever I want to. And usually that means like dessert every night and like bites here, bites there, getting my hand in, get, whatever. And so driving home, like the maintenance part of our balanced lifestyle is like a big deal. It's a big deal learning how to do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's what I think.
And it's kind of like a reverse because I'm adding back more calories, but at the same time, it's having to choose the right foods is harder. It's harder because I know that, like, in the back of my mind, I know it's not a weight loss season. I don't have to be 90-10.
No,
but I don't want to make a bunch of bad choices that I'm going to end up back where I was before.
True.
Maintenance
in reverse actually have a lot of things in common. We still have to be thinking about quality, right? Okay, so when we're in maintenance, we've just maybe come off a weight loss season or something, and so we're kind of like excited and we want to have all the things, right? Reverse, yay, we get to eat more calories. Wow, I get to have whatever I want because I'm trying to raise my calories. So they're very similar in that regard. But both is food quality is still very important. Like reverse obviously is not weight loss, but we still have to practice the 80-20. It still has to be there. And the 80-20 is not having a treat after lunch and a treat after dinner all the time. It's like I was telling you earlier, Marlena, like sometimes I'll have like a small treat after lunch and I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to have one tonight because I had one today. And then I'll get to dinner and I'll forget and I'll have one at dinner too, right? And this can happen for days and days. And that will end up putting me into a surplus, right? And then it'll also end up causing inflammation and blah, 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 blah. And so with reverse, you still have to stick to maintenance. No, but maintenance rules kind of. It's still 80-20. Just because we're eating more calories doesn't mean we get to eat more crap. It just means we're still practicing 80-20 with more calories. And that's the thing with the reverse. Like, is everybody here on a reverse? Marlena, I would say you're kind of on a reverse right now. Are you supposed to be on a reverse, Terry? Natika's on a reverse, right? Raquel's on a reverse, I'm pretty sure. And so thinking about that reverse still with maintenance rules. I don't want to use that word rules, but you guys know what I mean. We're still thinking about like high quality foods. Has anybody had tracked a few days where they're eating nothing but high quality foods and realized how low calories that is? Like high quality food is really actually low calorie. When I did my elimination diet, I ate all my meals. I had snacks, everything. I tracked it all and it was like 1,300 calories. And I was like, holy crap, how can that be? I feel stuffed. Like I ate really good. Like, how can that even be? I feel like I ate a lot of food. No, it's because high quality food is just, it's not like chips that you can do some damage in like 10 chips, 15 chips. So let's open this up and let's talk about reverse and how the maintenance kind of 80-20 applies to reverse and food quality. And if anybody has mentality in a reverse that kind of sometimes like accidentally slips into like, I'm on a reverse, I get to have whatever I want. And they feel themselves gaining weight. It's like, yes, when we are adding calories that our body is not used to, the chances that we are going to gain weight is there, right? There's like the responder that loses weight. Sometimes that happens. There's the responder that stays the same, and then there's the responder that gains weight. If we can, that's why we do it so slowly, to let the body adapt to the calories before we just busted it, with more. And so let's open it up to questions, concerns, mindsets, anything on like reverse diet with maintenance rules. You guys know where I'm going with this.
I'm not loving it. The reverse diet. I am the reverse dieter who gains. And so seeing that number on the scale, even though it now makes a lot more sense to me because of the 3,500 that you told me about, it still pisses me off to see it. It isn't as impactful. It doesn't make me feel like I'm defeated, but I still don't like the number. And I'd hate that my performance is better with this amount of food. So I hate that I feel better eating this amount of food because I absolutely do not want to continue to eat this amount of food, which doesn't even make sense. I feel better, my performance is better, and I'm pissed off.
I know. You know why you're pissed off? Because you're like, damn it, this is working. They're right.
But I don't like the fact that it made me gain. I'm like, my body can't possibly be telling me this is the number that we're most effective, efficient, high powered at.
Yes, but if you're gaining, you're probably like, how often do you raise your calories? Do you track your food?
Okay.
Like, how do you do it?
I have been tracking my food. Recently, I've been having these migraines, so I stopped tracking because I didn't even realize the migraines was causing me not to eat. So then I had my meeting with Molly, and she was like, "You're not even getting 1,300 calories. What the F?"
Yeah.
So prior to that, I was tracking, and I hadn't yet to meet my goal.
What's your goal?
I forget the number, 2,500 or something. But I forget what the number was because I never got close. Maybe it was 1,800. I don't remember.
One thing I do know is that for the long game, and it's very, okay, I'm just full disclosure, going to be completely honest here. It's very hard for me to wrap my mind around too. Like when I do my little computer calculation, I should be eating some ungodly amount of calories that I've probably only eaten on Thanksgiving, right? Like, so it sounds frightening and it sounds like a long ways away from where I am right now. So I totally get it. But I also get like the science behind it, right? If we are CrossFitting, walking, active, blah, 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 and we are not eating enough food, then like, that's not good. We can't lose weight, right? We're doing all these things. We're very active, but we're only eating 1,400 calories. Our body's pissed. It's pissed. And so we're not losing weight. We're like, why aren't we losing weight? Why am I losing weight? I don't hardly eat anything. I move all the time. Blah, blah. I mean, I've heard it a million times, right? Have you guys said that before? I've said it before, but it's getting our calories up there so that we can actually cut calories. Because when you're at 1,400, you're doing all the things and you're not losing weight. Like, what are we supposed to do? Eventually let's cut 100 more. And all of a sudden you're at like 1,000 calories a day. And so I get the science behind it. If you can get up to 2,500 calories, all you got to do is drop 250 calories and you're in a deficit and you're still eating 2,300 calories, right? And so I get the science behind it, even though it's mentally hard. But that's why you feel better. And if you can stick it out and get there, then you can eat a lot of food, feel good, and be at a weight that you want.
So since I started increasing, I don't feel good. Like I felt good. I don't know if it's the food or what it is, but my stomach has been a mess for the past month, I'd say. And I don't even think it's because of the junk, because I'm not eating a lot of junk. I'm eating more bread. So I don't know if maybe it's the gluten. I've never had a gluten intolerance, and I'm not cutting it out of my life. So don't even suggest
I'm
it.
not saying that you have
But
to. One thing that you did mention,
but I don't know.
you did mention that you're eating Brussels sprouts and potatoes. Okay. And you did mention that your Brussels sprouts aren't like killed. They're still kind of crunchy, right? Because you roast them.
No, I roast them and they're pretty soft. I don't like them crunchy.
Okay.
I take most of the stem part off too.
It would really suck to like be sensitive to Brussels sprouts because I love Brussels sprouts so much.
Yeah.
I mean, try just not eating them for like 2 weeks and see if that makes a difference. Because I feel like Brussels sprouts has come out of your mouth at the same times you're like, my stomach's up.
Yeah.
You know
and I didn't eat a lot of Brussels sprouts before.
What kind of potatoes are you eating?
They're like the little yellow ones.
Okay,
The
those ones
small yellow ones.
Rebecca,
Yeah, they have never bothered me.
Rebecca said, stay away from russets. They're like the devil on your stomach. Like she didn't say it in that words, but she said that they're a harder potato to digest. Like some potatoes are better. The gold ones, like the little gold ones, or the new potatoes, they're called, are better on your stomach. But I would be curious to see about the Brussels sprouts.
So my sister Julie,
yeah, maybe switch.
Has said that, and I think it was her dietitian at work. I can't remember where she saw it, but she said that if you eat cooked potatoes, and it doesn't matter, sweet, russet, the yellows, that they don't, is it spike your sugar, your glucose as much if they're double
baked. I remember her saying that. She bakes them and then she warms them. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I haven't tried that because I don't eat a lot of potatoes. So.
Well, I roast mine and then when I eat them, I air fry. I think it's sprouts now that you say it, because I've been eating a lot more Brussels sprouts in the past few weeks than I did before. So it's probably that. I don't know.
It would just be interesting to see.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go back to asparagus.
Dang it. Also, for reversing, food quality is really important because it minimizes gaining weight. And it mostly does that because processed foods are inflammatory. Sugar's inflammatory. I don't want to give gluten this horrible rap because I don't want to take food off the table. Some people are more sensitive to gluten than others. Like, I feel like if you think that you are, maybe you cut it out and see if you feel better. But just as a rule of thumb, I kind of try to get as much stuff from the ground. But if I had a sandwich today, you know what I mean? Because it was convenient. I did have gluten-free toast, which like sometimes I'll have a toast in the morning, but I try to stay away from it all day, every day, just because it's not from the ground. You know what I'm saying? So I hate demonizing like gluten because everybody is so quick to blame gluten all the time. That being said, who knows? Who knows, right? Like, how much bread are you eating, Marlena?
I never had bread while I was in a weight loss season.
You didn't? Oh, she dropped off. She's gone.
Bye, Marlena. She'll come back. So, I challenge everyone to have like a lettuce sandwich. That's what I have to eat. A lettuce sandwich, like a romaine lettuce, and wrap your whatever you're eating. Yeah, lettuce wrap.
I do
They're
like
yummy.
I do like lettuce wrap sandwiches, actually. I like them. I like them a lot. I just need to have a carb. I usually have a sandwich, like I was down at the garden and my husband was like going by the sandwich shop and I didn't have any food. And I was like, oh, grab me a sandwich too. That's usually when I have a sandwich, because I feel like sandwiches, you can get a sandwich anywhere, like on the
It should
fly.
be interesting to see if my body revolts tomorrow, because we were at a church picnic tonight and we had hot dogs and I just ate half the bun, the bottom part. And then this was the menu: hot dogs, Dorito chips, and watermelon.
So you did the best you could.
Yeah, I did the best I could. I should have just on watermelon. And I thought about eating but so we'll see. And to eat as much food as I need to eat, I definitely have to track. Otherwise, I do not hit it because I can't eat. It's hard to eat as much food as I need to eat.
I do agree. I do agree. I think it's possible not to track, like if some people have problems with tracking, but reverse diets in particular, we are ingrained that less is more, right? We're ingrained with that. And so I think naturally we don't eat enough. If we're on a reverse, we're not used to eating more. And so if there's no tracking going on, we're like still kind of have no clue what we're doing. So I do agree with tracking to make sure you're actually raising your calories, unless you're really, really good at paying attention. And it tells you if you go over, right? And so it doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't matter in reverse dieting if you go over so much as making sure you're hitting those numbers. But remember, like the faster we go over, the less time your body has to adapt to it. And so there are a couple choices when you're reverse dieting. You can just be like, you're at 1700 calories, you do all these things and you need to be at 2500 calories. We could jump right there and it'll be a full-time job getting that food in. That's because you're not used to it. Or we can go slowly. Most people choose slowly because it minimizes weight gain. It's practice in raising calories, you know what I mean? And so that's why that method I feel like is chosen more. I just feel like a lot of people are on a reverse, and it's just very important to know exactly why. If we don't kind of know the science behind why we're reverse, I feel like the compliance is lower, right? Like knowledge, education drives compliance kind of thing. And then the methods to make sure that we're actually keeping ourselves accountable is important too, and actually raising our calories and eating quality food.
So I have a question. Should you have about equal amount of grams of carbs as you do grams of protein, or what should the ratio be?
It's usually like 40-30 or something. Like it depends on how, kind of like what your lean mass is in your body roughly, and what kind of fat.
I have no lean mass.
You're what? Yes, you do. Stop it.
I have no lean mass.
Stop it. You do too. And so I guess that would be, usually there's more carbs than protein, usually.
Okay.
It's like 30, 40, 20. That math doesn't add up, but it's something like that. Like that math does not add up. That's only 9.
I actually think I eat more protein than I do carbs. At least when I'm trying. Yeah. So is that bad, or should I balance?
Did somebody give you those numbers, or did you make those numbers up?
I think Coach Molly gave me a calorie, how many calories I should have. And then I put it in the MyFitnessPal, and it's whatever they told me. I think I tweaked it a bit to get it to where I needed it.
And so does that make your fat a little bit higher?
Yes.
Yes. And I think that that's okay. I think that's okay if you feel okay. You know what I mean? I would say if you're like a high endurance person or something like that, your carbs would probably be a lot higher. But if you're not feeling fatigued and all the things,
Well, we
then
know I'm not a high endurance.
no, I know. I'm just saying, like somebody who like runs every day
Well,
or trains for half marathons or
yeah,
something.
and I don't. Yeah, I mean, my movement is movement, but it's not CrossFit. It's not running. It's not anything.
Not to get like into the diet world or anything like that, but has anybody heard about what flexible tracking is? Flexible tracking is when you have a protein goal and you have a calorie goal. And then you get to do whatever the hell you want with the fat and the carbs so that you're really only paying attention to your protein and a calorie mark. What else goes in there? It doesn't matter so much. And that's a little bit more flexible than like tracking every single macro to a gram. What I would say with that is you really need to listen to your body. If you're like flexible tracking, you really need to listen to your body and make sure like, oh, am I giving myself less carbs than I need because I feel fatigued and tired when I'm running my half marathon and too much fat, you know what I mean? And so like that flexible tracking, a lot of people like it because it doesn't have to be the same every day. Maybe some days, and that's kind of how humans are. Some days we eat more calories, some days less. If we were just natural beings who didn't have fucked up food issues, then but we do. But on a whole, a human being, if in a perfect storm, just eats calories different seasons and it goes up and down. And so that's what gives flexible tracking a little bit. That's why people like it, because it's not the same every day, but the calorie and the protein is. So I don't really think that's the, yeah.
I have a deer in the middle of the road. Oh, good.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah. I don't know what it was eating, but it's like weird.
Hi, buddy.
It's like, you're bothering me. So, okay. So, oops. So my question would be, if you're supposed to eat like 1,750 or 1,800 calories a day, 40% of that should be protein.
No, not necessarily. Like, it depends. I know that nobody likes that answer. It depends. If you're in a weight loss season, your protein may be a little higher, right? Because we're trying to lose weight. When we lose weight, we lose fat and muscle, whether we want to or not. And so the protein tends to need to be higher to like help protect the least amount of protein loss, right? Because protein, if it doesn't get enough protein, it like eats itself. It's like called catabolism, I think it's called. It like eats itself because that's what feeds protein, right? And so if you're not in a weight loss season, you can just be like in a more maintenance level because you're not losing muscle and fat. That's not the goal. And so it kind of depends. It depends. It depends on your size, your height, your lean mass, all these things.
Okay.
Are you feeling like you're eating too much?
I always feel like I'm eating too much.
Protein tends to be one of my problems.
Because I really can't eat a lot of crap if I want to feel good. Because right now I can feel my face already itching because I ate Doritos.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome to my world. So, yeah, but I have upped, I used to just eat 4 ounces of protein at meals. Now I've upped it to 5 ounces. And that seems to help me get to my calorie goal. So, and then I have a protein for a mid-morning or a mid-afternoon snack.
So one thing I would say too, as we age, we lose muscle. I mean, it's very important to strength train, but it's very important also to make sure we're up on our protein. And so I'm pretty sure Molly told you that you needed to eat more protein at one point.
Yeah. She did. And I am. I eat more protein than I do. Well, definitely fat, but than I do carbs. And my carbs are pretty healthy carbs. So
If you feel good, I would think, and you're hitting like a calorie goal, I would think that that's probably okay.
yeah, I feel good, but I'm like Natika. It's like, doesn't feel like the weight's coming off. So, but it will. I just need to stay focused.
It will. And sometimes, let me tell you this. Okay, I got clients who want to go on a weight loss season, but they're told that they need to start doing a reverse diet first. And what I tell them is, okay, totally get it. Why don't you pretend like you're in a weight loss season without cutting calories? Clean everything up. Go ahead, do 90-10, but you're still hitting your higher calorie mark. Let's talk. If you can hold on to that for 4 weeks, let's talk and see what your weight's doing. Because most of the time, we're just not being honest with ourselves. We are sneaking this bite in, this bite in, this bite in, this bite in, inflammation, over calories, blah, blah, blah. But since we're on a reverse, we feel like it's acceptable and fine, which it is if you feel fine with what your body's doing. And so that's what I always say. Okay, first let's start. Let's just clean it up. Clean it up. We're not going to cut calories. Let's clean it up. And I know for myself, I'm like, why am I not? Oh my God, I'm doing all the things. Oh, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing all the things. I'm like eating tortilla chips every single day. I'm getting the chocolate covered raspberries every single night. Okay, let's be real. I'm not really doing all the things, right? Which is fine. Which is fine. But it's like, I think we want to think we're doing all the things, because doing all the things takes effort, and it takes remembering, and it takes like some amount of discipline, whether that means eating all your meals so that you don't get, hangry and snacky and bingy at night, drinking all your water, even if it's not like rigid discipline, it still does take some amount of like, I'm going to do this for me. And so that is like my main, if anything else happens from this call, a really good takeaway is like a reverse diet, a way to feel better about being on it. Like we're not just like gaining weight and going backwards, is like clean it up, keep the calories you're doing, clean it up, prove to yourself that it's actually not the calories, it's the not being honest. That felt hardcore.
You made me do that for 4 months, not 4 weeks. By the way, we're gonna practice weight loss for 4 months.
She's mean.
I am. Because the other thing is, if you don't start practicing really, like, if you know that you're going to get to a point that you are going to go into a weight loss, there has to be a certain amount of practice before that, even if it's not with a calorie drop, because then you go from, free and easy down the road to crap. Now I got to really get my crap together overnight because I'm starting on Monday. And that feels really hard versus like, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to slightly decrease my calories. Right. And so you're kind of already in a groove. And so you get that kind of trial and error time before you're actually in your weight loss season. Cause we don't have weight loss season. It's only a certain amount of time. So we gotta push it. We gotta be like really solid. We can't have a trial and error during the weight loss season. I know that felt hardcore too. Okay, like, I know. Raquel's all, that was a dagger straight.
Oh.
So anything else you want to talk about? Okay, awesome. Good call.
Raquel wants to say something. She unmuted.
Good call. No, I was just gonna say, ouch, ouch, Leah, ouch. Why don't you tell me what you really think?
I know. I do that to myself sometimes. I'm like, ouch, God, the truth hurts.
No, but it was so good. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
She holds nothing back.
Okay, ladies, Thank you. I will see you next week.
All right. Love you,
Okay.
ladies. Bye.
Bye.
Right.